All right, guys. Our next guest is one of the baddest or the baddest man on the planet, but also one of the nicest guys as well. The most winningest UFC heavyweight of all time. Of course, I'm talking about him being the champ. He takes on Daniel Cormier at UFC 226 in a super fight. The heavyweight champ himself, Stipe Miocic, who also is, by the way, about to be a dad. Say what? Stipe, thanks for taking the time. How are you today?
Hey, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure having you come back, man. It's a crazy time right now in your life. You're preparing to take on Daniel Cormier in a couple of weeks. You're expecting your first child shortly after that. Not to mention, obviously, your job as a firefighter and paramedic. What's it been like for you, and how are you handling, all of that at the same time?
Oh, it's never ending. Never a dull moment in my life. But listen, I love it. I love being busy. I'm excited for everything to happen. I'm excited for the fight, but more excited for my first child.
So are you still working the same schedule like you were before with the paramedic firefighter thing? Or did you, and also what happens sort of in these final weeks leading into the fight? Do you, like right now, you definitely right now you're not working, right? Are you still doing some shifts?
No, I was supposed to actually work this Saturday, but I actually had a wedding, so I had to call off.
You getting married again? I thought you already had a wife.
No, one of my friends are getting married, and I just screwed up my schedule, so I had to actually give it away. So it was my last shift would have been this Saturday, but I cannot do it. So that's my last shift before the fight.
Do they
work the week before? So.
Do they ever do like a bit of a send-off for you? Because obviously you're going in title fights, you're close with everyone there at the fire station, obviously everybody with the paramedics. Did they do a big thing of it, and did you kind of miss out on that this time around?
No, not at all. No. They just, they call or text me if I see them. They say, hey, good luck, do your thing, and I'll see you when you get back.
I mean, every time you come on, we ask you about what people's reactions are like when the baddest man on the planet comes to resuscitate their cousin, but at this point, I mean, you are a massive, massive celebrity, especially in your hometown over there. What is the reaction when you rock up to help a cat get down from a tree? I mean, it would be unbelievable for a fan to have this happen.
I mean, I'm not a celebrity, but it's cool. I get a lot when I go to the hospital. A lot of doctors and nurses and stuff like that, medics, they all want to take pictures, so it's pretty cool.
Someone's passing away on the side and they have to resuscitate them, but they want to get a quick selfie.
We make sure to take care of them.
I feel like someone, if someone is sort of on their way out, they see the champ and they're like, all right, I'm back. I'm not missing out on this. I was going to say though, I feel like the big thing for you is this baby. How is it like? Have you had to sort of baby proof the house, and have you had to do a bunch of things around the house and sort of prepare for the baby, build a nursery, things like that?
Yeah, we actually already did it. We did it a while back, probably 2 months before camp really started hitting hard. We got the nursery done, baby proofing the house, and I'm still doing stuff. We get stuff in the mail, like from our baby shower, and I'll put it together. It's not a lot of stuff, but. It's great. My wife's awesome. She helps me with a lot of that. I know she's pregnant, but she does the best she can. But whatever, all the manual stuff, like like putting stuff together, I'll do it.
How's she handling the pregnancy?
She's good. I mean, she's a trooper. She's getting big, and especially if it's super hot summer.
Yeah.
So it sucks for her. So she's got another 7 to 8 weeks. So yay.
We have to talk about names for a second. Have you guys locked down a name? Some people will have a baby. It'll take some time. The baby will be unnamed for a period of time. It'll be like a new Hollywood movie that has been unnamed. Other people have a name ready as soon as the baby pops out. What are you thinking here? Are there a few names circling around in your head? Are you guys sort of down to the last candidates?
Yeah, we're down a couple. We don't know yet. We don't want to say anything. We'll keep it to the heart right now because we have a lot of names, but we just don't know yet. We're going to figure it out. I think once we see her, we'll know what to call her.
What are some of the names that just didn't make the cut? Like, you heard them and you're like, there's no way. Like, for example, I've never been a big Kimberly fan. Like, I've never met a Kimberly that I've liked. Have you ever had, like, a name thrown at you that you're like, I don't know about this name?
No, I mean, my wife's pretty much, my wife said, I told her, we have a daughter, you can name whatever you want. I'll give you my 2 cents. And we have a son. I'm going to name what I want. And she was okay with that. But she picked up good names. Names she thought about, I really like. So I'll give my 2 cents. She had a couple of them. The names she gave, I put them in order which ones I like. So we'll see once we see her and figure it out.
What was her reaction to you taking the fight, in the middle of the pregnancy? Because I feel like originally after UFC 220, you sort of wanted to take a bit of a break, and then this fight came around. What was her reaction? Was she like, "Oh man, I didn't see this coming"?
No. I made sure it was okay with her. That was the main thing. I made sure it was okay with her. I was like, "Listen, do you want me to do this or no? I can say no. I don't have to." And no, she's like, "No, let's do it. You're good. It's before the baby's born, so we're good. Like that, you're good."
What sort of made you want to take this fight instead of sort of taking a bit of a break?
It was just an experience being an ultimate fighter, talking to Daniel and making sure it was okay with him and okay with me, make sure we're on the same page. And it's a super fight. Make sure we're both doing what we're supposed to. And I think the ultimate fighter just learning. I learned a lot about myself during that TV show.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I mean, not only were you super busy with everything, but you also did The Ultimate Fighter. And also, sir, quite possibly that is going to be the last season of The Ultimate Fighter. So that's a bit of history as well. How did you like doing the show? Because we watched it, and I mean, it just seems like it's a lot of work. You really cared about your fighters. You sort of have to go through an emotional experience every time that they fight. It seems like there's a lot on the plate when you do this kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure, no question. I mean, it's just you want nothing but the best for these kids, and that's all I cared about, and just making sure they got everything they were supposed to get out of it. And I wish all of them could win, but they can't. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. But I think they learned a lot, and I think that's all I care about. Make sure they became better and improve themselves to go on to the next step of their journey.
Well, what would you say is the biggest thing you learned about Daniel, sort of being around him all those days, and being filmed on Tough?
I think he knows how to coach. That's one thing I wasn't used to was coaching. I just didn't know how to react and do practice and stuff because I've never done that. I can run a practice, but just I think now I feel comfortable in running practice and knowing what to do and what can we do. He just he was very he's done it all. So it's he knows what he's a head coach now of a high school wrestling team, so he knows what's going on.
What I liked about it was you guys had a really fun relationship. Like you could tell both of you respected each other. There was a lot of jokes, laughing. Did you sort of? It looked like you sort of almost enjoyed sort of being around him and spending some time with him.
Yeah, no, for sure. I didn't see him all the time. We see each other in between we're leaving, they're coming in for practice, and stuff like that. So it was never, too much. It was never I didn't see him all the time. But it was fun to be around him. Got to hang out with him. It wasn't around too much.
Is it? I was going to say, Casper, the guys at the Firehouse, they'd be watching the show and they'd be going, what kind of pranks will Stipe be pulling here? Did you get any complaints from the boys at the Firehouse about? So, why wasn't there oil put on his water? That kind of stuff. Shaving cream. There was a lack of it.
No, yeah, I think I just really got to focus on training the kids. I just wanted to make sure they got the best experience. It wasn't about me. It was about them.
Yeah. When I know, with you and Daniel, it's so respectful. Is it almost weird fighting a guy who, you do get along with so well? Because it's probably pretty contrastingly to sort of the Ngannou build-up, which is a little bit somewhat heated from Ngannou's end.
No, not at all. I mean, it's business. He's gonna try to beat the shit out of me. I'm gonna try to beat the shit out of him. Yeah.
Do you sort of get a little? Do you get a little bit of confidence, I guess, when you guys square off and there is such a huge height advantage and you're sort of towering over him?
No. I mean, listen, he's a tough fighter. He's fought the best guys in the world. He's fought at heavyweight. He's undefeated at heavyweight. He's fought the best guys at 205 and he's beat the best guys at 205. So, I mean, you can't take him light. It don't matter size. Doesn't matter. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
It's interesting because you've had so many great matchups in your run as the UFC champion, but it almost feels like this is kind of the big fight that a lot of fans have been waiting to see you have. You fought some incredibly tough guys like Ngannou and over him and some big names like that. But are you excited to sort of be in a quote-unquote super fight and the biggest sort of in July, the biggest time to sort of the UFC does a pay-per-view?
Yeah, man, it's exciting. It's a different experience. And the guy come up trying to take my belt. I mean, nothing's gonna change. I'm gonna walk out with the belt still wrapped around my waist, and still nothing's gonna change about that. He's a great fighter, but he's not taking what I've earned. We'll work too hard, I sacrifice too much for that belt, and it's gonna be a great time. A great opportunity. It's gonna be amazing to do this super fight. People love it, and people want to see it. It's a big thing right now. So what on? Let's have some fun.
Yeah, 100%. We heard that DC called you when this fight was coming together and sort of you guys spoke about how, you both needed to be paid properly in order for this to happen. The wives were in the background like, yeah, 100%. Is that true?
Yeah.
What was that conversation 100%. Like?
Oh, no, just make sure it's right for both of us. You know, we're gonna just do it, do it. You know, I mean, listen, also, you know, they're gonna, you know, we just make sure that was the right thing to do. That's it, pretty much, hands down.
Are you happy with the deal that you've got ahead of this fight?
100%.
Is that an indicator that sort of your relationship with the UFC is a little bit better than times in the past?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, listen, man, it's my boss. They're my employer, so no one's ever happy with their employer.
Yeah. You said that obviously nothing heals overnight. What I guess would make it sort of, you know, bring that relationship to 100% if anything sort of needed to happen or change?
Well, I think just you know, stuff both work on both sides. You know, no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. You know, just gets time. You know, it takes time.
What do you think? A lot of people are talking about legacies here. A lot of people are already sort of talking about you as being one of the greatest pound-for-pound heavyweights of all time. There's some names in there. There's guys like Fedor. There's a lot of other big names, but a lot of people are talking about what you've done with the title and with your defenses is obviously groundbreaking and history-breaking. What do you think this fight does for your legacy? Because it is a super fight. It is a big fight against Daniel Cormier. What do you think it does for it?
I think it makes it look stronger, I guess. I mean, I'm not worried about that. I mean, all I care about is, you know, July 7th and winning. That's all that's on my mind, you know. And you got to keep winning, and then the more you win, the better it gets. So it's all I care about is winning. I love winning. I don't like losing.
I heard you in an interview say that fighting is fun for you. What? And I don't know why. Like, it wasn't surprising, but the way you said it, it was like, what do you like about this fight? And you're like, fighting's fun. What I guess would you say is the most fun part for you?
Winning, of course.
But what about like while you're in the cage? Do you just enjoy the work?
I love what I do. Yeah, I just love what I do. You know, it's like, you know, I know I fight and everything. It sucks getting punched, but like, it's just fun to do. It just keeps me out of trouble. I just love doing it. It's fun. You know, the minute I stop having fun is the minute I'm out.
Do you remember like a time in a fight where you sort of, you know, thought to yourself like, damn, I'm having a lot of fun in here? Was there ever a moment like that? I imagine you're concentrating a lot, but do you remember any?
No, not so much that. Just, you know, just enjoy the experience. You know, the week of the fight, hang out with my coaches. You know, just get ready for the fight, the hype, the build up. I mean, everything about it. You know, just like you said, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Did you ever get into any street fights, like before becoming a professional fighter?
I think I got one when I was 11 years old.
Really?
Wow.
I got crushed.
Who by?
I remember a guy. I think the guy's name was Guy. He crushed me. I felt bad. I threw water in his face, joking around, and he didn't like it too much. And he was older than me and beat the crap out of me.
Oh, wow.
Do you see this guy walking around now, and what's his reaction now that you're the baddest man on the planet?
Nothing. I don't care. I mean, it is what it is.
Haven't given him a Facebook stalk. We won't tell anyone.
No, I don't even know where he is. I don't know if he lives in the state anymore.
How come you avoided, you know, all these fights? I feel because you're a Midwest guy. I feel like, you know, there'd be, I don't know. I feel like there's sometimes like trouble around there and people get into fights. How come you managed to avoid them?
I'm not a dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I just try to be, you know, if there was a fight, just, you know, talk my way out of it, or just no reason to throw down, just, you know, always a way around it.
I love it. That should be put on a T-shirt. Don't be a dickhead. That's the new Stipe Reebok T-shirt. You know, Tai Tuivasa got the shoey. You get the Don't be a dickhead T-shirt.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about what you thought about Curtis Blades' performance at UFC 225. Obviously, he got that big win over him. A lot of people are sort of saying he could possibly be fighting you next. Were you impressed with what you saw?
I didn't even watch it.
Really? Why not?
I was playing Fortnite.
Well, now that you bring it up, Fortnite, I mean, I see from time to time you challenging different personalities to Fortnite. Who have you been playing Fortnite with? Have you played any celebrities or sports stars?
Not really.
No one's taking you up on the challenge?
I'm not. I mean, I'm okay. I'm not like a phenomenal player like some of those other guys. I just like I love having fun, you know.
Do you go solo? Do you go in a squad? What's your preferred method of play?
I go squad. I play with a couple of my buddies, so it's fun, you know. But yeah, with the Curtis Blades fight though, I heard he looked good. He's a great fighter. I trained with him before. He's a tough guy.
Do you think you will watch that fight at some point?
Oh, of course. Yeah, if we do fight him, I would definitely watch it.
I guess it might be hard to say, but afterwards he called out basically that he's the next guy in line, and he's got a pretty good resume, obviously beating Mark Hunt, now knocking out over him. Do you see him as sort of the next title contender?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't. Right now I'm all worried about July 7th. That's all I care about.
Can I ask though, because even I know, like fighters obviously have that, you know, the tunnel vision and all they focus on is their next fight, but there are rumors about Brock Lesnar potentially being the guy to challenge either you or Daniel. What do you think about that?
Honestly, yeah, I heard about that too, and they've talked about it before at that press conference. But like I said, all I care about is July 7th. July 7th. July 7th, International Fight Week, that 226. That's all I care about. That's all I got my mind on. And after that, I'll worry about it after. And then I'll worry about my daughter being born.
Yeah. Will you take a break though after 226? Because you got the daughter, and that's in August.
Yeah, I hope so.
I
plan on it. I mean, it's a plan. I mean, I'm gonna enjoy my daughter, hanging out with her, and getting to know her.
What if the UFC, because obviously with this fight, this was a quick turnaround. You beat Ngannou, and then almost straight away they're like, hey, we want you to do tough and fight Cormier. What if straight after this one they start asking about a Lesnar fight and they want you to fight again? Would you entertain the idea?
Yeah, not right now. Yeah, I'll do it, but not right away.
Do you think you'd be open to fighting this year by any chance, or do you think more than likely you'd want to spend time with the daughter maybe next year?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to worry about July 7th. That's all I care about.
Sure.
Honestly.
What did you think of Daniel Cormier's face when he found out that he could possibly be fighting Brock Lesnar? Because I've never seen a man in so much happiness before.
He's got to worry about me, though. That's a different. I
know. Well, it seems like Brock Lesnar's like a dream for him. I mean, it's interesting because Curtis Blaydes, he's a guy with a remarkable resume. Well, not a remarkable resume, but he's got a pretty solid resume considering the other heavyweights that are in the division. But then here's another guy who everybody would tune in to watch you fight this guy. I mean, you've got the tunnel vision, you focus on this fight, but at this point in your career, are you at the point where you're sort of looking to fight tougher guys like Curtis Blaydes, or would you be more sort of drawn into the fact that you'd be making a huge payday fighting a guy like Brock Lesnar?
Honestly, yeah, everyone's tough. It doesn't matter. Anyone can win at any given night. It's a fight game. Anything can happen. But honestly, like I said, I don't really care about what's happening outside of it right now. My focus is on July 7th. I'll tell you over and over again. That's all I care about. I don't care about.
We're just testing you. We want to make sure. We want to make sure you're being honest about it. I think you do care about July 7th now.
That's it, man. That's it, man. That's all I keep thinking about. Good for Brock, good for Curtis. There's something for the best for him. But right now, all I care about is DC, July 7th.
Yeah, we'll talk about the matchup to us because DC is an incredibly tough individual. How do you see yourself sort of matching up with him? Because you're a great wrestler. Your striking is really, really impressive. Your movement, your footwork, it's right out there. Whereas I suppose DC, his biggest strength is he's super durable, super tough. He has some striking, but, he does excel in the area of wrestling. How do you see yourself matching up with him?
I match up well. I think I match up very well. I think it's a great matchup for me. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have probably taken the fight. No, but I think I'm a bad matchup for anyone. And, I know he's got a great wrestling, but it's not gonna be a wrestling match. It's a mixed martial arts, so I get to punch him too. And he's a tough guy, and he comes forward. But I think I have a lot of answers that when he comes forward, I'll have an answer for everything.
What do you think is sort of the biggest challenge when overcoming a challenge like Daniel Cormier? Is it his wrestling, or is it his striking, or is it just his ability to put everything together?
I don't know. I think he's just a tough guy. He just knows what to do, how to win. He finds ways to win. But so do I. So it's gonna be an interesting fight. It's gonna be a great fight. But I'm coming out on top. I guarantee it. I'll tell you right now.
Do you think it's a little bit unfair that sometimes people criticize Daniel because of this whole John Jones thing, the fact that John has beaten him? Do you think there's sort of sometimes people don't really recognize what he's done in the division because he's had an incredible run and he's a super, super durable, super tough champion, a very dangerous fighter?
Oh, yeah, I think 100%. I think he's super tough, and I don't think he worries about that too much. I think he's worried about winning. That's all he cares about, too.
Well, there you go in a second, Stipe. I know, with the Ngannou fight, it was a really grueling fight. It was really, really back and forth. And I know fighters always say, I'm preparing for 5 rounds, even if they are, say, a knockout artist, even if they can put guys away. But, with Daniel's background and with your background, are you sort of going to this one expecting that, this is probably going to be another 5-round, grueling war as well?
I look at every fight 5 rounds. If I catch him and he goes down early, even better. Call it a quick night. But, look for 5. I train for 5. I'm going for 25 minutes hard.
I guess the other question is who's putting the belt around you once it's all said and done? Will you let Dana White put the belt around you this time around?
You'll find out when I win the belt when they raise my hand. You'll find out.
Are you flying LeBron James down? Are you not telling us something here, Stipe?
No, not at all.
Is this because just quickly on LeBron? For fun question, where do you think he's going next season? Is he sticking with you guys?
hope he stays with Cleveland. If not, he doesn't. It is what it is. But
Is J.R. Smith welcome to come to your fights?
Oh, yeah, J.R.'s actually a really nice guy. They're all nice guys. But yeah, I don't know where the round's going to go. I hope he does stay. If not, whoever's best for him and his family.
There you guys go. One of the nicest guys in the game. Speaking of games, just quickly, how long are you playing Fortnite? Are you playing Fortnite right up to the fight? What do people need to look out for when they're playing Fortnite? Are you on the microphone? Give us a little hint.
I stitch it. I do a little twitch. I stitch it. Twitch it.
Awesome. Well, people need to jump on, subscribe to the Twitch. Of course, follow Stipe on Twitter and Instagram at Stipe Miocic. And check out the big fight July 7th, 8th here in Australia. Takes on Daniel Cormier, UFC 226. Super packed card. A massive, massive fight. Really happy for you, man. It's all happening for you. All the best to you and your family, the wife, and we can't wait to see what happens next. Thanks so much for taking the time, Stipe.
Hey, no, thanks for having me on, man. Great talking to you guys again.
Awesome. Thanks, Stipe. Bye. Bye-bye.